So in this we're going to build the audio component. Okay, so you know the drill. Let's come to this. Simply delete this get file. Okay, delete this one, and inside this you will find all the component. This is the big slider we have, button we have, category, collections, filter. In that connection we have this component, filter, we have footer, video section, nav bar, and that we have all these files, card NFT, subscribe, title. So all these components we have already built. Let's click on this component, and now we're going to create our audio component. Okay, so let's create a folder for that, and let's call it AudioLive. Okay, and we'll create a JSX file, so AudioLive.jsx, and we have to create the CSS file as well. Okay, in the same folder, module.css. So let's close this one and let's do this. Okay, so let's type RAFCE, and we have to type this text AudioLive. Okay, so let's import the CSS file, internal import. So, and the CSS file we have, so before we import that, let's come here in the component index, and we have to import the file, and we have to import it from here. So let's AudioLive and simply copy, and we have to make it default export. Okay, close this one, and let's close this one and come here and go to the pages index, and let's come here. So we're going to call the audio component right here. Okay, right below. So first we have to import it, and then we're going to call it here below the big NFT slider. Okay, so let's call it AudioLive. So in this way we can easily able to have the audio, and simply copy the title and copy and paste here. Okay, so this is the title for the AudioLive, and we can simply change the message to latest audio and collection, you can call it. Okay, so let's save it. Let's come back to our AudioLive.jsx, and let's come to the application. Let's have a look, and here you can see that here we have the title and we have that AudioLive component. So everything's working fine. Now let's import the CSS file, and that's coming from the same directory. Now let's remove this one, and let's instantly return. We'll have a div. It will have a class called style AudioLive, and that will have another div. It will have a class called AudioLive-box. Inside that will have another div. It will have a class called style dot audio box left, and that will say left, and we'll simply replicate this. We'll take a div. It will have a style audio box right, and in that we'll call it right. Okay, so this is the component we have. Let's come back, and here you can see right in the bottom, left and right, so working fine. So let's come here and click on this, close this one, and inside that let's create two more folder. One for the big audio card component, and one is for the small audio card component. Okay, so let's create the folder. So let's create the folder, and let's call it audio card copy, and we have to create the JSX file as well. So AudioCard.jsx, and we have to create the CSS file as well. So modules.css. So that's what we have. Simply type RAFCE and close this one, close this one, close this folder. Now let's create one more folder, and this will call AudioCardSmall. Simply copy that, and we have to create the JSX file AudioCardSmall.jsx, and we have to create the CSS file as well. So AudioCardSmall modules.css. So this is the two folders we have, two components, and we'll type simply RFCE. So that's what we have. Simply close all this tab, close this one, and everything's looking good. Okay, so let's come back to the AudioLive.jsx, and now we have to import that. So we need to import the audio card, and that's coming from the same directory folder, and we need to call the AudioCardSmall, and that's also coming from the same directory. Okay, so these are the two components we have import, and now we're going to simply call this component here. So we're going to call this audio card, and we're going to render two cards. Okay, so let's simply do it twice, and inside this, and in the right section we're going to call the AudioSmall, and in the right section we're going to call the AudioCardSmall component, and altogether we need to have three cards. Okay, so that's the setup we have to do in our AudioLive.jsx. Okay, so we are done with that. Now let's internal external board. This is the card component, and this is the actual component. Let's close this one, and let's go to the component, open this audio card, and click on this audio card, and in this we're going to start designing. Okay, so let's import couple of things from React. So use state and use effect we need to import the images, and we need to import the icon. So fi fill heart and fi outline heart, and that's coming from React icons AI. And we need to import the, let's say, tb players, okay, play, and tb player pause, and that's coming from the same React icon tb. Okay, so these are the icons we have. Let's do the internal import. So import style, and that's coming from the same directory. Let's import the images. So we have inside this dot dash folder, and that's the internal import we have. So that's the internal import. Let's come back to the JSX and let's start working on the JSX part of this audio card. Okay, so we'll simply remove that. We'll do instant return, and we'll have a div. It will have a class called style dot audio card or small, and inside this we're going to take this use state and we'll call it like. Initially it would be false. Okay, we'll take another use state and we'll call it play set to false. Okay, these are the two use state we are taking. Now let's come back to the div and we'll take a, let's say, another div. It will have a class called style audio card dash box. In that we'll have another div. It will have a class called style audio card box dash like time. Okay, and that we'll have another div. It will have a class called style audio box likes, and it will have an on click function. So in this we're going to call this like NFT function, which we're going to create. Okay, and in that we're going to take this dynamic block and we'll say if like is true, then we have to render this component. So we're going to render this icon AI fill heart, and it will have a class called style audio box like icon. Okay, if it's false, then we want to make this icon, so audio outline, and it will also have a class called style card box like icon and unlike. Okay, so these are the icons we have, dynamic icon. Okay, so we can like and unlike the NFT. So let's come down and we'll take a span and we'll call it 24. We'll give this hardcore data, and let's come out of the div and we'll have another div. It will have a class called style dash audio box like, and in that we'll have another div. It will have a class called audio box time remaining, and that will have this small time, and we'll have our text remaining time. In that we'll have a h5. We'll call it 3 hours 15 minutes 20 seconds. Let's come out of the div here. Okay, leave the 3 div and come down, take a div. It will have a class called style audio box, we'll call it music player, and it will have a on click function. So we'll call it let's say, for the time being, let's give this empty function. Okay, empty functions. Okay, so let's come down, we'll take this dynamic block and we'll say play. If it's true, then we want to render this div. So it will have a class style dot audio box music player dash icon. In that we have to display the icon tb player pause, else we want to display this icon. So it will have a div. So simply copy and simply paste this one, and we'll change this to tb player play. Okay, so this is our dynamic play button. That's working. Now let's come down, we'll take a div. It will have a class called style dot audio box details, and that will have another div. It will have a class called audio card box details dash info, and that will have this h4, and we'll say NFT music, and we'll give this ID. Okay, we'll take another div. It will have a class called audio card box details info price, and that will take this small tag and we'll say price. Paragraph is going to be this price. Okay, some random number. Let's come out of the div. We'll take another div. It will have a class style dot audio box detail info. Let's say stock. Okay, we'll take a small and we'll say 24 in stock. Okay, so that's the stock component we have. So I think we are done, or let's have a look in the design. So let's come down, we'll take another div. It will have a class called style audio box details, we'll call it image, okay, not details. And inside that we're going to have the image. So we have the images. Inside that we're going to pick the image number 10, and it will have our alt text. We'll call it background. Width is going to be, let's say, 500, and height is going to be 500. So that's the image we have. Okay, so we are done with this entire JSX part. So let's zoom a bit, and music player we have. So let's come here, and we need to take a div, and it will have a class. Let's call it audio box player. Okay, and we're going to wrap this entire music player inside this. So simply cut this and paste here. Okay, and we need to simply paste here. So make sure you do these changes, okay, otherwise it will not work and you will get an error. Okay, so this is the audio card we have, audio card, and that's the components working fine. So make sure you do these changes. Okay, wrap the entire music player into a player div. Okay, so that's what we have here. Let's come down, we'll have an image. Okay, so let's come here, we'll take an image, we'll say image, and we have the image, this music wave, and we'll have a alt text to music. Width is going to be, let's say, 200, and we don't need to assign a height. Okay, so simply close all this component. So we have this 3, we have this one. Now let's close this one. So these are the 4 components we have: like, player, details, image. So make sure you have the same one. Okay, whatever changes I have done, make sure you do that. So that's pretty much. Now let's come here, now let's create the function. Okay, so this is the function we have to create, and let's open and let's have a look one more time. So let's copy the function and let's come down here. We'll take this like NFT, it's gonna be an arrow function, and we'll say if like is false, then we have to turn it to true, and if it's true, then we have to make it false. Okay, that's the like function. Simply take another player music. Okay, it's gonna be an arrow function. We'll say, let's come down, where is that? So we have that function. So here we have to call the function. Okay, simply copy and call the function here. Okay, let's come here and we have to write the function. If music player is false, then we have to make it true, otherwise we have to keep it false. Okay, so that's the music player functions. Everything's working fine. Let's come back to the application. So here we are, you can see everything is working fine. We have the title, we have all the data with the images. Okay, so if you click on this, you can see we can easily able to turn the icon to like, and here we have all the data. Okay, so everything's working fine. Price, stocks, so all the images are displaying perfectly. We can easily able to like and unlike. Okay, so let's come back to the code, and this is the internal, external. Let's close this one, and let's come here and click on this and go to this, okay, audio card, and let's start styling this part. Okay, we're going to do the styling later. Let's write the JSX first. So we're going to do the internal import. So we need to import the CSS file that's coming from the same directory, and we need to import a couple of things from React use state, and we need to import the images. We need to import the, let's say, let's come back here, go to this audio card, and here we have this icon. So simply copy this icon and come back and paste here. Okay, so these are the play and pause icon we need. Let's come down and we need to import the images, so which we have inside this /image folder. Okay, so these are the internal import and these are the external import. Let's come down and what we can do, we have to take a use state and we'll call it, let's say, play, and it initially would be false, and we're going to start writing the JSX. So we'll do instant return, and in that we're going to have this div. It will have a class called style audio player, and we'll have a div. It will have a class called style dot audio player dash box. Inside that we're going to have this image, and it will have a source called. Inside the images we have the image background number 1, and we'll have an alt tag. So we'll call it music. Width is going to be, let's say, 100, and height is going to be 100, and we'll assign a class called style dot audio box images. Okay, so that's the image component we have. Let's come down, we'll have another div. It will have a class called style. We'll call it audio player and info. In that we're going to take this h4, and it will have the title NFT music, and in that we're going to have another div. It will have a class called style audio player box info box. And that inside that component So in that div, we're going to take this like profile component, which we don't have right now. We're going to create it. Okay, so that's what we have. So let's come down. We're going to take another div. It will have a class called style dot audio box info box price, and then we're going to take this small and we'll have a price, and we're going to take this paragraph and we're going to actually put the price. Let then come down and we're going to have a, let's say another div. It will have a class called style audio box, and this will call play button, and it will have an on click function, and the function we're going to call it play music. Okay, this is the function we're going to create. So let's come down. We'll have this dynamic block will say play is true, then we have to render this icon, otherwise we want to render this icon. Okay, so that's the play icon. So things are looking good. Let's have a look one more time. For the time being, let's comment out this like profile. Okay, we're going to uncomment this letter. Okay, so let's come down here, and here you can see that here we have all the details, and here we have the 3 small component images, NFT prices, and you can see we don't have created the function music player. That's why we are getting this error. Okay, so everything's working fine. Let's reload the browser and let's come back here, and now we can create the function. Okay, so let's come here and we'll call it const music play music, and it's gonna be an arrow function. If let's say play is false, then we have to set it to, otherwise set it to false. Okay, so that's the function we have created. Let's come here and let's click on it. You can see we can play and pause. That's working fine. Let's come back to the code, and that's working fine, absolutely. So let's close this one, come here and close this one, and let's come back to the AudioLive and AudioLive CSS file. Okay, and here we're going to write the styling. So let's do like this so you guys can see. So we're going to target the AudioLive, and width is going to be 100%. AudioLive box, let's say width is going to be 80% on a desktop, and margin 0 auto. Padding is going to be, padding block is going to be, let's say 2 RAM and 8 RAM. That's how it will look. Let's come down. Display is going to be grid, and grid template column is going to be repeat to 1FR. Grid gap is going to be 2 RAM. So that's how it will look. Let's come down. We're going to target that AudioLive box right section, and we'll say padding is going to be 0.5 RAM and 000. Display is going to be grid. Grid gap is going to be 2 RAM. That's how it will look. Let's add a media query. Okay, so min device width is going to be, let's say 320 pixels, and the max device width is going to be around, let's say 375 pixels. We're going to target that audio box, and we'll say width is going to be 90%, and grid column template column is going to be 1FR on the mobile device. So that's how it will look. You can see it's look perfect. So that's looking good. Let's come down. We'll target this audio box right section, and we'll say gap is going to be 2 RAM. We'll target the audio box left, and we'll say it's going to be 1FR. Okay, now gap would be 3.5 RAM. So that's how it will look. Okay, perfectly on a mobile device. So things are looking good. Let's come here, and we're going to target the box left, and it's going to be display grid template column repeat to 1FR, and gap is going to be 2 RAM. Okay, so make sure you do all this CSS styling. Everything is looking good. Let's have a look. So this is the box left section, and this is the media query. Let's close this one, and let's come down, copy and paste simply, and here we need to change this to, let's say 377 pixels, and this will become 425 pixels, and we have to make the changes. I think we need to keep it like this. We don't need to make any changes, and this will become, let's assign a pixels, and let's make it this to 427 pixels, and this will become 768 pixels. So that's also look good. Everything is working fine. And let's come here, go to this audio card, and click on this CSS file, AudioCard CSS file, and let's start styling the bigger card component. Okay, we'll target the audio card box, and we'll say display is going to be grid template column 5 1FR, grid template row repeat 6 4 RAM, gap is going to be 1 RAM, border radius 2 RAM, box shadow are going to be our custom box shadow. Okay, that looks perfect. You can see it's looking really good. We'll target the audio box like sections time, and we'll say grid column 1/-1, and grid row is going to be 1/2. Display is going to be flex and justify content space between. Align item 0, and Z index is going to be 1 to 3, something big. Okay, let's add the like, and background color is going to be our icon color, and we'll target the color. This becomes shadow dark color. We'll target the display flex, and we'll say align item center, looking really good. We'll have a gap 0.7 RAM. We'll have padding 1.3 RAM. We'll have border radius 2 RAM. We'll have cursor pointer and margin 1 RAM. Overflow is hidden, so that's look perfect, and click function is also working. Let's come down. We'll target the audio car box like icons, and color is going to be red. Font size is going to be 2 RAM. Okay, that's look big. Simply replicate this, and this will become, let's say, dash unlike. Okay, so that now it's working fine. You can see. Let's come down. We have to target the audio box time, and we'll say background color is going to be our main BG color. Padding is going to be 1 RAM, 4.5 RAM. Margin right is going to be -0.4 RAM. Transform SQ 35 degree. So, and border bottom left radius is going to be 1 RAM. So that's how it will look. Let's come down. We'll target the audio box time and remaining. This will call transform SQ -35 degree. Text align center and E. Okay, come here and go to this JSX, and let's scroll down, and here we have that audio box likes item, and simply try to select, and let's come back here and copy and simply paste here. Okay, so make sure you do these changes. It's audio box like item remaining. Okay, so right now we have the styling. Let's come down. We'll target the audio box like time remaining small, and font width is going to be 500. We'll target the audio box like time remaining H5, and this will have font size 1.5 RAM. Margin top is going to be 1.6 RAM. We'll come down. Audio card box player grid column is going to be 1/-1, and grid row is going to be 4/5. Display is going to be flex. Padding inline is going to be less 3 RAM, and gap is going to be 4 RAM. Z index something high. Align item center. Okay, that's how it will look. Target the audio box music player icon, and we'll make the padding 1.3 RAM. Display is going to be flex, and align item center. Border radius 50%. Background color is going to be our main color. Let's come down. Font size is going to be 2 RAM. Cursor pointer, so you can see that's look good. Let's come down. We'll see the audio card box image. Grid column is going to be 1/-1, and grid template row is going to be 1/1, and you can see it's look perfect. Okay, now the image is perfectly aligned. Let's come down. We'll target the audio box details. Grid column 1/-1. Grid row is going to be 5/1, and Z index something big, and display is going to be flex. So let's come here and simply copy the details. Okay, it has S, and here we are missing the S, so let's replace this one, and now you can see the stylings are taking place. Let's come down. Align item is going to be a center. Justify content space between, and background color is going to be our main color. Padding is going to be 1 RAM and 0. Width is going to be 90%, and border top is going to be, let's say, radius 2 RAM, and padding is going to be 2 RAM. Line height is going to be 1.1 RAM. So that's look pretty good. Let's come down. We're going to target the audio box details info, and H4. We'll say font size is going to be 1.1 RAM. Line height is going to be 0. We'll target the audio box details info price. This will become border 1 pixel solid var, and this will have our icon color. We're going to target the padding 0.5 RAM and 1 RAM. Border radius is going to be 0.5 RAM, and height is going to be, let's say, 3 RAM. Cursor is going to be a pointer. So that's look pretty good. You can see. Let's come here, target the box detail info price small, and let's say background gonna be the icon color. We'll have the color itself to our main color, and we'll have a padding to 0.4 RAM and 0.5 RAM. We'll have the border radius 0.5 RAM, so that looks great. Let's come here, target the box detail info price paragraph, and line height is going to be, let's say, 1.2. Fonts width is going to be 700, and let's come down. We'll target the audio box details stock, and text align is going to be end. Display is going to be grid. Okay, and let's come here, and what we have, so audio box complete copy and paste here, so it's right. Okay, no problem in that. Let's come down, target the detail stock small, and margin top is going to be 2 RAM, so that's how it will look. Come down, we'll target the item media query, so we'll have a max width is going to be 35 EM, and we'll target the audio box time. Padding inline is going to be 2.5 RAM. Audio box, let's say audio box like time remaining, and H5 we're going to say font size is going to be 1 RAM. You can see it looks pretty good. Let's come down, we'll target the audio box detail, padding 1 RAM, so that's look much better. Let's come down, let's take a second media query, and min device width is going to be, let's say, 27 pixels, and the max is going to be all the way up to 768 pixels. We'll target the audio box likes item remaining H5, and font size is going to be 1 RAM. So that's the second media query. Simply copy and paste, and here we have to do the changes. So this will become 7770, and this will become 1024 pixels. Okay, and we need to remove that, and in that we're going to call this audio box time, and padding is going to be 1 RAM and 2 RAM, and in that we're going to target the audio card box like time remaining H5, and this will become font size to 1 RAM. We'll target the audio box details info H4, and this will become font size to 1 RAM. Okay, that looks pretty good. So this is how it will look on a, let's make it on a large screen. So it's looking absolutely perfect. We have a problem on the remaining. Okay, so this is how it will look, and this is how it will look on a small screen. This is how it will look on a desktop. You can see we need to fix a couple of things. So we have some issue in this, it's overflowing, and we need to fix that. So let's come here. So let's come here in the audio card box, and let's say overflow is going to be hidden, and here you can see right now we don't have that overflow, so that's working. Let's come here, go to this AudioLive. Okay, and in this we have to do the changes in the bar, like repeat icon. So here we're going to do the changes. We'll say 2.5 FR, and the other one is going to be 1 FR. Okay, so right now you can see it's look really good. Okay, this card is looking really good. So we have this function is not working. Okay, this is the one problem we have, it's not working. So we can click, we can turn it off. This one is working, so everything's looking good. Let's do the inspect element and have a look on a mobile device, and that's how it will look on a mobile device. It's looking absolutely perfect and 100% responsive. You can see that, so it's looking good. This is the title, we need to fix that. And this is our small component. Let's make it side by side and let's start working. So let's close this one and close this one and go to this small card, okay, AudioCardSmall CSS file, and let's start styling that. Okay, so we'll target the audio player and box, and we'll say display is going to be grid template column repeat 2 FR and 5 FR and 1 FR. Align item is going to be center. Gap is going to be 1.3 RAM, and line height is going to be 0. Background color is going to be our icon color. Icon, let's say main color. Okay, main BG color. And let's say padding is going to be 0.5 RAM and 1 RAM. Border radius 1 RAM. Height is going to be 8 RAM. And transition all 0.3 second easy in. So that's how it will look. You can see perfect. and we can easily able to turn it off. Okay, so let's come down. We'll target the audio player box. On over effect, we want to add the, let's say, box shadow to our custom box shadow color. Okay, so you can see we have this box shadow looking perfect. Let's come down. We'll take this audio player box image, and border radius is going to be 0.5 RAM. Audio player box info box price will have a, let's say, border is going to be 1 pixel solid, and it will have our icon color. Font size is going to be 0.8 RAM. Width is going to be, let's say, 40%. Font width is going to be 600, and border radius is going to be 0.2 RAM. Audio player box info box price, and it will have a small, and we'll say, let's say, background color is going to be our icon color. Color itself is going to be our main color, and padding is going to be 1.1 RAM and 0.3 RAM. Border radius is going to be 0.2 RAM, so that's how it will look. Looking great. Let's come down. We'll target the audio player box info price P, and it will have margin top 1 RAM. We'll target the audio box play button, and font size is going to be 2 RAM. Background color is going to be our main color, and border radius is going to be 50%. That looks pretty good, impressive. So let's make it full screen, and here you can see this is how it will look. You can see rise over effect we have on this. Let's come back here, go to this, and here we can say cursor is going to be a pointer. So right now we are here, you can click. So we have some, this one is working, but we have a problem in the button. So this one is working fine, but this one is not working. This one is working. So let's close this one, come here and go to this audio card bigger one, okay, card component, and let's have a look at the JSX. So here we have the play music function. That's the music function, copy, and simply here we have that. Okay, that's look good. This is the like NFT function, which is working absolutely fine. And okay, here is the problem. Instead of set like, we have to call set player. Okay, so simply change this to, copy this one and simply paste here. Okay, save it, and now it will work. Let's come back here, and you can see this one is working fine, this one is working fine. If we click, we can easily able to change the color. Okay, that looks pretty good. It's working fine, 100%. And this is what we have, and here we have this images. Now let's start working on it. Okay, and that's what we're going to add here. So we come here and let's click on this, and here we need to create. So let's create a, come back to the CSS file, and so here we have this shadow dark color. Copy that color and come back to our card component, and here we're going to do the changes in the color. So instead of main color, we're going to add this color. Okay, save it and come here. Okay, this one is really too strong, so it's too strong. We need to make it little light. Come back here, so we can go to that global CSS file, and we can simply replicate it, and we can call it to BG. Okay, and let's make it opacity to little downward, and now we can copy that, come here and replace this, and here you can see we have this. We have to make it a little more light, bring it down, and now this one is look perfect. This one is look perfect. Okay, it's looking absolutely great. Everything's working fine. We can easily able to click and unclick. So let's close this one, and what we can do, let's come here, go to the component section, and we need to create a component that is LikeProfile. Okay, so we'll call it LikeProfile, and we'll call this LikeProfile.jsx. We need to create the CSS file as well. Okay, module.css. We'll type RAFCE to create the React functional based component, and in that we need to import the CSS file. So internal import and import style, and that's coming from the same directory. Okay, so that's the CSS file we have. So the reason why we are creating this component, because when we display our NFT, every NFT will have a section where it will show that how many users have liked that NFT. Okay, and that's the component we are creating, and I'm creating this component as a global component because we're going to use this component in multiple places. We're going to use in our audio clip, in our NFT section, in our collection sections. So it's a reusable component. Okay, So here what we have to do is we have to import the image, and let's come here. We have to import the images, all the images we have here, and that's coming from the images. So remove that image folder. So here we have the image folder, and here we're going to take a demo data, because altogether we want to display four users who have liked the profile. Okay, and this data becomes dynamic when we'll fetch the data from the API. So we'll call it, let's say, image array, and we'll have 1, 2, 3 and 4. So these are the 4 people who will like that. Now let's start working on the JSX. Let's make it instant return. We'll have a, let's say, let's take a div. It will have a class called style.like, and that will have this image array map lmi, and we're going to return instantly. We'll have a div. It will have a class called style.like box, and it will have a key i+1. Inside that we're going to have this image tag, and we have to provide the images. So all the images we have inside this images and dot user 1. Okay, if we go like this, no, it will not work. So i+1, save it, and we have to assign the width. So width is going to be, let's say, 115, and height is going to be, let's say, 15, small, not big. Okay, that's looking perfect, and that looks great. So we have the key, we have the images. Okay, everything's working fine. So that's the image. Simply remove this, and let's simply call the normal image 1. So that's working fine. So this is our dynamic component. Let's come here, let's do the styling. So we'll simply, what we can do, we'll simply target that like, and we'll say display is going to be flex, align item center, flex start, and like is box is going to be, let's say, border is going to be 3 pixels solid, var, and we're going to call this icon color, and we're going to take this border radius 50%. We'll call the image, and it will have a border radius 50%. So that's the CSS part for this. So right now we're going with this hardcode value. Okay, we're going to receive as a prop, and we're going to loop over it. Okay, so this is our like profile, and now what we can come here, we can simply come and import that like profile in this component index. So we will import like profile, and that's coming from /component ./component. So this is our like profile. Okay, simply copy, and we have to export that, simply paste here. So that's our export. Let's close this one. Come here, go to this audio, and go to this audio card. Inside that, click on this audio card, and here we need to first import that component. So let's import it. We'll call it import like profile, and that's coming from ./like profile. So this is the component we have. Now let's simply come here and come up here, and we need to simply import that file. So like profile, that's coming from the same place, dots, we'll say like profile, that like profile. So that's the component we have. Simply copy that, and here we have uncomment that like profile. Simply comment out this, uncomment this. Okay, so this is how what we have here. Let's come back here, and here you can see that our like profile component is working fine. We can easily able to see the images. Okay, the user images. So that's working fine. It's looking beautiful. So that's 100% responsive and looking really great. Okay, let's come back to the code, and here close this one and close this one, and go back to this simple audio card, and here we need to call that like tab. Okay, so where should we call it? We should call right here. Okay, so we'll call like profile and save it. Let's come here, and here you can see we have the images working fine, the user who liked that audio or NFT. Okay, that's working also fine. Let's come back here, and let's come back here, go to this like profile. Here we have, let's assign class. So let's call it like box image. Okay, simply copy this. I have to add this styles, copy that, and You can see right now, let's come here. So we don't have that border radius. Simply come here, go to the CS file, and here we're going to simply change this like box image, save it, and here you can see we have that border radius. It's round, so it's looking absolutely perfect. Okay, let's do the inspect element and let's have a look. Let's check the responsiveness. So it's looking good on a mobile device. You can see this is how it will look. You can come up and these are also working fine. We don't have any problem in that. This is the audio card. You can simply play and off, like, unlike. These are the card components we have. So it's look pretty good. And this is the top list. Let's make it on a big screen. So this is how it will look. And make on a full screen. This is how it will look. In a big screen, this is how it will look. So let's come here. Come back to the code, and here we're going to call padding is going to be 1 rem, and cursor is going to be a pointer. So you can see right now it's looking perfect. Okay, let's do the inspect element and go on a mobile device. That's how it looks on a mobile, and that's okay. That looks perfect. Let's come here. Unlike, so things are looking good. Let's come back to the code and like make on a full screen. So close this one and go to this audio card and index, and let's change this to audio collection only. Okay, audio collections. So that looks pretty good. That looks really good. So things looks good. Let's have a look that everything's okay or we have any problem in this code. So let's come back to the code and let's simply do one thing. Go to this audio, not audio, go to this like, and here let's have, we have 4. So instead of that we need to display the random image. So we're going to call the image user1. We're going to change to image user 2, image user 3, and image user 4. Okay, so when we receive the data from the API, the data will come in the form of object. Okay, so we're going to render from there. So here we have the 4 different images and we are looping over it, and here we're going to replace this to EL. Okay, save it, come back to the application, and here you can see we have different images. Okay, different user images, and that looks absolutely perfect. That looks really great. Okay, let's close all these tabs and let's come back to the audio card and let's come to the CSS, and here let's go to this audio card CSS and let's comment out the box shadow. It's looking good without box shadow, and on overlay effect we're going to add the box shadow. So simply copy this and paste here and remove this one. So let's, you can see it looks, now it's look better. Let's add the transition, so all 3-second easy in. So let's save it. Now we have this nice transition effect, and this one is looking really good. Okay, we can like, unlike. Okay, let's scroll down and let's remove this. Okay, we need to change the color as well, so we're going to call the icon color, and we're going to change this one as well. We're going to change this to our icon color. So let's come here and okay, we have some problems. So what we can do, we can change the icon color to our main color. Okay, main BG color. So that's how it will look. You can see now it's looking good and matching with the brand color. So it's look perfect, like, unlike. And let's do the changes with this. Okay, so this one is looking good. Let's come back to the code, and where else we have that, so we need to change that player and change this color. So we're going to have the background color to our, let's say, icon color, and here we can come and we can add a color to var, and we're going to call the main BG color. Okay, so that's how it looks. So we have that consistency. That's looking good. Now simply close this one, go to this small cart, and here we have to do the changes, same thing. So we'll remove this color and we're going to call the icon color, and we need to take the color itself. So this will become the main main BG background color. Okay, so that's what we have, and that looks beautiful. So it's looking absolutely great. It's matching with the design, exact design what we have. So that looks good. Let's scroll down. Things are looking really great. Okay, let's come back to the code. Let's close this one and close this tab and go to this AudioLive CSS file. And in this, we're going to add some margin. Okay, so margin top is going to be 3 RAM. So we'll have some space. Let's make it to 4. Okay, so we'll have some space from the title. And things are looking good. Everything's looking fine. All the functions are working fine. Let's have a final look. So this is how it will look. In the next video, this is the component we're going to build. Okay, we're going to build this top component where we can simply switch on and off. So the source code is already provided to you. Make sure you save this article. In that you will find all the source code, which I have divided into a multiple sections, so you can get it from here, from this article. Okay.